What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OG GM, coming to you live on a windy Monday afternoon. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here at Site B on this 27th day of March, and the winds are blowing in spring, I hope, but it's also blowing in a headache. And, of course, Steve does not like the noise. Big brave boy that he is. All right, it's time to check up on what's going on in our favorite topic that isn't Dungeons & Dragons, and that's the ORC, which, sounds like the NWO at this point in time. What is going on with Paizo's open role-playing campaign rule thing, legal protection contract, SRD, habeas corpus? All right, let's check up with all the big players. First, Paizo, what's going on with the open system-neutral RPG license you've been working on? Well, you haven't updated the webpage since Thursday, January 12th. And as far as we know, based upon the Discord, it has been at the lawyers for about a month now. Other than that, we know very little, except Chaosium has announced they will be one of the first people to release a product under the Open RPG Creative License, which spells ORCL, but whatever. They've got the new rule set coming out in a couple days for their basic role-playing system, the system by many people in the world considered one of, if not the best role-playing system. It's going to fall under the auspices of the ORC, even though for reasons my simple brain cannot understand, there's no reason for them to, because their system wasn't affected by the OGL, and in nowhere in the most recent rules for Call of Cthulhu does it have the OGL. I checked. So, but I guess they're hoping to take advantage of the confusion and the legal ambiguity that is going on right now in the post-January OGL firestorm to maybe pump up the popularity of their system and get some more press. I mean, it is the number one selling role-playing game in the world, but still it doesn't get a lot of, good publicity here in the USA. So yeah, they're taking advantage of the situation to sell their brand. Good for them. What's going on with Project Black Flag Obel at Cobalt, not Cobble, Cobalt Press? Doesn't look like there's any updates here. We just got a playtest a couple days ago for Wizards and Fighters, and there was nothing new or interesting or original or inspiring about it. Pretty much it was things we'd already seen. So, yay. Thank you for absolutely nothing, Kobold Press. That's going on with Green Ronin, the number one company that has created one of the most successful OGL products, Mutants and Masterminds. What are they doing post OGL January Firestorm? They are pushing the Fantasy Age 2nd Edition core rulebook. Fantasy Age technically kind of affected by the OGL nonsense. It is based upon D&D, sort of. What rule set are they using for Fantasy Age 2nd Edition? Is it their own? Do they have their own SRD? We don't know, because, it doesn't tell us a lot here. All right, what's going on with Matt Colville? He was one of the many people who said, I'm going to make my own game. Screw you, Wizards of the Coast. And he has proceeded to nothing. He announced he was working on a game about a month ago. Since then, nothing. Look, everybody's just copying my idea and just putting out monster books. I appreciate it, guys, because I did it first. All right, finally, what's going on with the 1D&D playtest? We have the survey that is open to April 10th, asking us what we thought about the Druid and the Paladin. If you were able to pick them up and see it, what do you think? Did you appreciate the Druid and Paladin build? I know a lot of people were like scratching their heads over the Druid build and felt, oh, yay, you're making Paladins even more nerfed because you hate the idea of Paladins. We get it. Wizards of the Coast, we get it. But yeah, that's it. So this survey will end April 10th, which means on April 9th, they'll extend it until they get the type of responses they actually want, just like they have with every other survey. And then we'll see the next run for whatever the next classes are, sometimes late April, as we get closer and closer to the deadline to see what if anything, 1D&D/6th edition will look like, what type of products we will see from Wizards of the Coast next year, if Wizards of the Coast will be able to survive the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that is the movie coming forward. Right now, predictions coming out of holiday betting odds are opening weekend 25 to 30 million. Opening weekend 25 to 30 million. Now that might seem like a lot to you, but for opening weekend numbers, that's not that great. That's actually below par. And actually that's optimistic that this movie's going to fill enough seats to make 25 million. I've heard something as low as only 4 to 6 million. Maybe not even that. I don't know. Is this movie even going to make $1 million over the weekend? Considering how many people went and saw it already, thanks to Amazon. I don't know. Was the Amazon thing maybe a mistake? Because, the Amazon numbers aren't going to count towards tickets sold Friday, Saturday, and Sunday /Monday /by Friday. So, yeah. 6 million? 20 million? I don't know how many theaters it's in in America right now, and how many people still go to see movies in theaters. I think, expecting it to make 30 million is truly optimistic. It might only pull in like 8, maybe 10. I don't know. So yeah, that's what's going on with this. And of course, that all goes back to the druid thing and how everybody was like, oh, I want my druid to be able to turn into an owlbear because that tiefling can. And Wizards of the Coast was fine. We'll give you a druid build that now lets you turn into an owlbear. And people were like, oh, no, I see this new build, but it's still not what I want because I still can't do what I did in the movie. So that's what's going on with the ORC, Project Black Flag, and 1D&D, a whole lot of nothing. Moving on to more exciting news, because I'm sure there is one. Paizo's got a lot of things coming out as you look at their webpage, but none of them relate to the ORC, which is maybe the thing that we should be hearing more about after all the trumpets and flares they sent up during January and how they were going to save the OGL and save the third-party publishers. Meanwhile, it's almost April and we've seen bupkis. So I am losing any excitement for the ORC, which just gives more flame to the people on the Pro 5e side. I wonder what all these Pro 5e people are going to do next year when they see the new rules and they're like, wait, this isn't 5e anymore. And Wizards of the Coast is like, that'll be fun to watch them backpedal and try and justify all the crap they've said this year about the OGL and the OSR and, how things are not going to change and how, it'll be fun. So that's it. That's what's going on. We'll check up again with the evolution of Project Black Flag and the ORC again next week. If you've heard anything about any of these that I haven't heard, please forward it. And while you're doing that, consider maybe subscribing to the OGGM Adventures and heading on over to Big Geek Emporium and picking up some of my exciting merch. Number 10, Messinians on a Mission number 10 just went to the editor 5 minutes ago. So yay, we'll have number 10 pretty soon. How many of you published this week? Yeah, buy my merch. I'll talk to you later. I have been the OGGM. See you